Hey everybody, it's Dave here from Dragonhill Games, and you're watching This Week in MTG Finance, as always. And before we get started, I want to thank MTG Stocks for allowing us to use graphical information for the purposes of this video. Alright, we're going to have a look at the top 10 winners percentage-wise this week, and we're going to start right here with Crystal Shard from Mirrodin. So this one was on the list a couple of weeks ago when it went from about the $1.75 range and took a nice healthy jump into about the $5 range. Well, this week we're up another 28% into around $6.50. So Crystal Shard for 3 mana, it's an artifact, and we can pay 3 and tap or pay a blue and tap and return target creature to its owner's hand unless its controller pays 1. Turns out that's pretty good in this little format we all know and love called Commander. Alright, and the number 9 card on our list, Erratic Portal, is from Exodus, and it's currently valued around $8. This card's up 32% this week, and it's really interesting that this is almost the exact same card as the number 10 one on our list, Crystal Shard. So Erratic Portal is one more on the top end. It costs 4 to cast it. However, it only costs 1 to activate it, and so we pay 1, return target creature to its owner's hand, unless its controller pays 1. So really super useful in something like Commander. I mean, we can basically force our opponents to wait 1 extra turn before casting their commander. Otherwise, they're constantly running the risk of having it returned to their hand. This card spent most of its life in around the $2 range. In about October of 2018, so last quarter 2018, it saw a big jump from $2 to around the $5 mark. And then it kind of hovered and lived there for about a year and a half. And then we've seen another sort of recent spike in the last few weeks. And this is probably just because, you know what, Commander demand. This card's probably getting some recognition in Commander, its value and things like that. And I mean, we are entering into the year of the Commander, and Commander is currently one of, if not the most popular constructed format in Magic the Gathering. So it's no wonder that cards like this are starting to see more and more demand, and it's the only printing of this card. Now take note, it's not on the reserved list, so I mean, this card may be reprinted at some point. In fact, probably will be reprinted at some point. But I mean, at $8, it's still definitely a reasonable pickup for sure. All right, up next and in the number 8 spot, we have Conjurer's Closet, specifically the Commander Anthology version. Now, this is currently valued at around $9.20, and it's up 34% this week. I firmly believe that this is a printing specific spike, and to be honest, I can't explain it. The art is no different than the other 2 printings, and the original Avacyn Restored printing and the Commander 2013 printing can both be had for in the $5 to $6 range. So, as far as I'm concerned, if this is a card that you're looking to add to your collection, your best value far and away is the original Avacyn Restored printing at around $5.50. Our number 7 winner this week is Galt Primal Hunger from Game Night. So this card's up at $15 and was up 36% this week, which is a weird sort of spike on one particular printing of the card. Now I can understand this a little more than sort of Conjurer's Closet. I mean, Game Night had a very low printing. It was a product that just didn't really sell all that well. However, the art is exactly the same as the art on all of the other versions except for the Game Day promo one, which I actually believe is your best value if you're looking at picking up some Galtas. I mean, it's a full art version of the card, it's an alternate art version of the card, it's a foil printing of the card, and it's only valued at around $10.50, where some of the other ones are in the $8 to $9 range. So not a huge premium to get the full art sort of foil printing version of the card. I mean, Galta's making a lot of showings in things like Pioneering. It's just one of those, played in Commander. It's just one of those that people are always going to kind of want to build around. So big potential for, more reprints down the road, especially since this year is green kind of Commander. So there's a distinct possibility that we may see another printing of Galt Primal Hunger this year. But that said, it's a card that's just going to slowly sort of increase in value over time. All right, our number 6 winner this week is Doomsday, specifically the Classic 6th Edition version, and we're currently valued at $6.50. And again, this is another one that's up about 36% this week. So I narrowed down the graph just to basically show us what's been happening to Doomsday over the course of this year so far. And I mean, Doomsday was a card sort of $3-4. That was its sort of natural home over the course of the last few years anyway. ever since Thassa's Oracle was spoiled in Theros Beyond Death, people have been brewing with this, especially in something like Commander, for just that sort of alternate instant win combo. And I did want to say that this card has been extremely volatile over the course of the last about a month or so. I mean, we've had highs as high as sort of $8 and lows back in the sort of $4.75 range. So just one to be extremely cautious about if you're investing in this card. Although I do think that the long-term trend on Doomsday, barring any reprints, of course, is definitely upward. Okay, moving along to our number 5 winner this week, and that's Furnace of Wrath from Duels of the Planeswalkers. Now we're currently valued at $4.50, and this card's up about 44% this week. I do want to note that this card has had a lot of printings. I mean, it's been printed in a lot of core sets, with an original printing way back in Tempest, and most of the other printings can be had for quite a bit cheaper than the $4.50 mark that the Duels of the Planeswalkers version is fetching. I mean, you can pick this up for as low as $3 if you don't mind having the white bordered 8th edition version. So it's just one of those cards that's been increasing over time, and it hasn't had a recent reprint. So even though there's a massive number of these things out there, the supply is definitely starting to dwindle. And like I said, this graph has been just sort of slowly increasing over time. It's definitely an upward trend, and since we have Commander being such a popular format, Furnace of Wrath definitely makes its way into a lot of different Commander builds. So picking up one of the earlier, say 8th edition or even Tempest printing is really good value at $3.75. All right, our number 4 winner this week is Swarmyard from Time Spiral. Now this is the only printing on this card, and it's currently valued around $22. It's up a healthy 52% this week. So a lot of that in the recent past couple of weeks definitely has to do with the Secret Lair rat drop and the recent sort of rise in popularity again in rat decks in Commander for sure. But this is a healthy sort of long-term growth graph. I mean, go back to 2013, the card was $2, and it's just been on a sort of a steady increase. Now it's been living in the sort of $10 to $13 range over the course of the last couple years, and again, more recently sort of doubled in price because of the demand for rat decks for sure. But I did want to say with this card, I mean, the only printing of the card, huge demand for something like Commander for sure. So this card is a huge target for a reprint. I would be extremely cautious about investing at these prices, especially with this recent sort of spike. But I mean, if you need one for your Commander deck, go ahead and pick it up. Just understand that there's a very high likelihood that something like this would be reprinted in a Commander product. If not this year, then soon for sure. Then we would definitely see a dramatic decrease in the value of this card. All right, our number 3 winner this week is Semion Stage, and specifically the Commander 2019 version. Now this card's up 55%, and we're at almost $5 in value. You can still get the Ultimate Masters printing for around $3.75, and even the original Gatecrash version is only $4. So you're definitely paying a premium for the Commander 2019 version. I really love this card, and I was glad to see it on the list. This card makes for some really fun builds, especially in Commander, but the more recent rise in price and popularity in the card is definitely because of Pioneer. I mean, people are copying Lotus Field with this and just sort of ramping out huge amounts of mana. So, but Semion Stage will always be a perennial card in Commander because it pairs with Dark Depths, of course, a way to cheat out Merit Lodge, right? Currently, like I said, valued around $5, had a 55% increase this week. But again, if you're looking to pick it up, the Gatecrash or Ultimate Masters versions are definitely better value. All right, our number 2 winner this week is Siphon Mine, specifically the Commander version. And this card's up a whopping 109% to nearly $2.25. Just a few weeks ago, this card was like a 30-cent card, right? So let's have a look at Siphon Mine. 1 black and 3, it's a sorcery, and each other player discards a card. You draw a card for each card discarded this way. So clearly has huge potential uses in Commander. I mean, just great value for 4 mana. We're making everybody pitch a card, and then we're going to draw a bunch of cards as well. So obviously huge Commander uses. Now, this card has had a bunch of printings. I mean, it's had various Commander printings over the years, as well as its original printing in Onslaught, and even some promo printings as well. I don't understand why this particular version is $2.25, although some other versions are nearing that price as well, like Commander 2017 and Commander Anthology Volume 2, which is interesting. It's all the most recent sort of printings of the card is worth the most. That said, you can still have the Plane Chase version for around 85 cents, and if you're a foil guy, the Gateway promo version is still only $1.10. Now, I have a feeling that over time, these are all going to sort of level out. So picking up any of the Onslaught or Plane Chase versions or even the promo is just really good value at this time. All right, our big winner this week is Reap, and it's from Tempest. So the card's currently at $9.50, and this is up an astounding 217%. It's all thanks to this little YouTube show that you may know called Command Zone. That's right, the guys over there at Command Zone featured Reap as one of the most underrated cards in Commander. And I can understand why. I mean, the card had a value around $2, so it's not like the card was valueless. There's definitely some people who understood the worth of this card, but let's have a look at Reap. So Reap is a 1 green and 1. It's an instant, and we return any number of target cards from our graveyard to our hand. You cannot choose more cards than the number of black permanents target opponent controls. So just really super good value if you happen to be playing against opponents who are playing black stuff for sure. And if you're not, I mean, there's definitely other ways that you can do nasty things, like turn all of your opponent's permanents black. So I can see why it was called out on the Command Zone as one of the most underrated cards. Now, I will give a bit of a cautionary note. I mean, we hit a high of $13.50 shortly after that episode aired, and we're already coming crashing down to the $9.50 mark. So if you're owners of this card, it's an uncommon, by the way. If you're owners of this card, you may want to consider unloading at these prices, but I definitely would strongly advise against investing or picking these up at this price. I think this will definitely come crashing back down into the $3-4 range, closer to where its home was before the podcast. All right, before we get to cards I'm investing in this week, as always, if you're a subscriber, you know I want to thank you for being here. We really appreciate your support. And if not, now's a great time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We post at least 2 videos every week. So I want to bring your attention this week to some cards that are currently available at bargain basement prices in comparison to their all-time highs. And we're going to start right here with True Name Nemesis, originally printed in Commander 2013. So this card can currently be had for around $10.50, which is an absolute steal considering its all-time high was $45. Now that was quite a few years ago. But that said, the card normally lives around the $17 to $20 range, and it has seen some lows as low as around $11 before, so this is not new territory per se for this card, and it recovered nicely off those lows in the past. It gets played a lot in various legacy decks, and it's had one other reprinting, most recently in Battle Bond. Alright, and the next one I have for you guys is Aether Vial, and it really doesn't matter which printing it's from, whether it be the Darksteel printing or the Modern Masters or Iconic Masters printing. Any of these regular printings, they're all valued at around the $25 mark, which is an absolute bargain considering that just 6 months ago the card was in the mid-40s. So to be able to pick this up for $25 is actual steal. This card is played in every format where it's legal, whether that be Commander, Legacy, or heavily played in Modern in any sort of tribal deck, things like humans, merfolk, goblins, all those kinds of decks run force of Aether Vial. So I believe that Modern really is starting to look like it's going to be turning around. I mean, we're heading into Modern season as far as Magic Fest and things like that go. And I have actually been seeing numbers tick up in the tournaments in my store. So picking up things like Aether Vial, the good old-fashioned staples, at bargain basement prices like this is an excellent opportunity. All right, and last but not least, we have our speculation play for the week. That's right, it's a 1-2 punch this week. We have Elvish Archdruid and Goblin Chieftain, and I'm going to give you my reasonings behind this. So I firmly do believe that these two cards need to be in the Pioneer format. There's no good reason why there isn't. There's actually quite a few cards that I think kind of need to be moved into Pioneer, and I think that Wizards will take the opportunity in future standard printing sets to go ahead and do that. But I think these two are probably high on the priority list. There's no good reason why Goblin Chieftain and Elvish Archdruid shouldn't be in the Pioneer format. And in order for tribal decks like Goblins and Elves to be successful, they definitely need their Lords. And these are the two traditional Lords that have been used in decks in the past, both heavily played in Modern and of course things like Commander and stuff like that, and both traditionally printed in core sets. So like I said, I do believe there's a very distinct possibility that both of these will end up being printed in core set 2021. We do need these guys in Pioneer, at least that's my opinion. But if I'm way off base and they don't, Wizards has decided for whatever reason not to make Elves and Goblins, good viable decks in a format that's extremely popular, which I really can't see. But like I said, if they decide to go ahead and do that, regardless, these are good, still solid investments, especially the Elvish Archdruid from Magic 2013, currently priced around $1.75. This one's got some catch up to do compared to all the other printings. Most of the other printings are at least around the $2 mark, and some of them as high as almost $2.25. So grabbing up the M13 printings at $1.75 is a safe bet regardless, because like I said, this card does have some catching up to do in comparison to its other printings. And Goblin Chieftain, I mean, the cheapest printing is, I believe, one of the dual deck printings, yes, around $2.66. But the regular M11 version is $2.89, and the other M versions are around the $3 mark. And this card's been flat for a while. I mean, been around the $3 mark. Yes, it's on a slow sort of down curve, but Modern in general is on a slow sort of down curve. But I think getting in at the $3 mark or around the $3 mark is definitely a safe bet. And if either of these two cards are reprinted, which I believe they both will be in very short order, but when these two cards are reprinted and brought into the Pioneer format, we're going to see a massive jump on these cards. There's going to be a lot of decks that are going to want to be built and be a lot of experimenting going on in the Pioneer format with the Goblins and Elves that are available. So that would make for a lot of fun brews, and I think Wizards probably recognizes that again, and we'll make that happen in short order. So that is my speculation play for the week. All right, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching This Week in MTG Finance. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps me out, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.